All right, for stuff to bring more of, first off, batteries. You're going to go through a lot of batteries. Your buddies aren't going to have batteries, and so if you can give some, that's always going to be something to help. If you can have at least 5 on your flick, that's going to be great for you. With your AAA batteries, those are going to go in your headlamps, and your AA's are going to go in your nods. And what I would do is keep one AA battery at all times in my left shoulder sleeve pocket, and it's that way I know when it's pitch black, I know that I always have a battery in there, and I can take it out and unscrew it while walking and while moving. So that way I'm not the guy who can't see anything, and then the RIs come over and ask why I'm bumping into people.
Yeah, I would have to agree. Something I did is that I had one that I used electrical tape to tape onto my helmet band very loosely, and that's where my identifiable one was, where I could just quickly just rip that off. But then I also had 3 more or 4 more that I kept. Like, I had a bunch of batteries. Main reason why is that if, let's say, you're stepping off for the objective and you say very loudly, "Oh, do you have a spare battery?" and the RIs hear that, that's going to be a ding against your squad leader for not doing a proper PCC.
Check.
Yep. And like, so don't be that guy that has your nods die right before the mission.
Yes. And every time something like that happens, ask quietly.
Yeah.
Just go individually to people. Don't just say stuff out loud, because the RIs are listening to everything you say.
My experience is that we're walking in Florida. I'm a team leader, and I'm just checking in with my guys. And I notice one of my guys in my squad is just like not receiving anything at all, and he looks lost as all hell. And I go up to him and I'm like, "Dude, what's wrong?" And there's 4 RIs standing behind him, and he just goes, "Dude, I need more batteries. Do you have any batteries? Can I?" And I'm like, "Fuck!" Like, you could have said that just a little quieter. It's fine. Like, he was a good dude. He just didn't realize they were right behind him. But just that situational awareness, to be careful, because unfortunately, luckily that was a movement like right after an objective, so wasn't really against the squad leader, but like that can be a ding against the squad leader.
Get a little bit off topic, but always know where the RIs are.
Yeah.
Always look around you and make sure you know where the RIs are. Going back to the list, bring an extra duffel bag. You should have a minimum of 2, but if you bring 3, that's just gonna make it so your individual duffel bags are lighter, and also in each phase they're going to ask for duffel bags to make contingency bags with, and no one wants to use one of their duffel bags for it, especially if you only have 2, but if you can bring an extra one, it's going to help out. Next we got insoles. If you have extra insoles, that's almost like changing your boots. Your boots, honestly, they will dry out when you're walking, but if you can change your insoles, it's going to help a lot more, and it's going to keep your socks drier as well. And of course, like, keeping your feet dry and your socks dry is something that's really important for all phases.
Yeah, I have to second the insoles thing. Like, when you get like, for mountains, for example, the packing list we had, at least for the winter, was you only had 1 pair of boots on you, and that's the one that you were wearing. And you had a spare set of boots in your contingency bag. Well, you don't always get your contingency bag if your feet get wet. So having that insoles you can change out is just, it's much nicer. And honestly, it just takes less time. Especially if you have some boots that dry out really quickly, it makes your life really, really nice. But yeah, 100%.
Bring extra knives and multi-tools. I think I lost about 3 or 4 knives before I finally, to my own disappointment, I tied a knife down to myself and I didn't lose it.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're going to want extra knives. It's going to help out a lot. I know some people had a knife specifically for their MREs, a real small pocket knife that they would only use to open their MREs with.
Yep, nope, I agree with that.
Yeah. Always bring extra map markers and map mark erasers, specifically the black ones. These, you're going to lose them. People are going to steal them. Bring extras, because you can write anything on it. It serves the purpose of every single other writing utensil. So just bring extra of those.
One thing I just want to add with those is, and I bring extra like I would also recommend like pencils as well, or like maybe a couple extra pens. The packing list has you bring a bunch, so you can use from that supply. But usually I bought cheap pencils for that just to get a check. But maybe get a couple nicer ones. You don't need to buy like the 10 that the packing list needs, but have like 3 or more pencils.
Yeah.
It's nice to have. And something just completely off topic, but I remembered is this kind of goes into land nav. Bring I think it's a black light. It's a black light because
Yes.
it charges the. Do you have
Charges the
experience with
loom
it?
tape. Yeah, and all the glow in the dark stuff get charged by light, and the UV lights charge it the same, but you're not going to see it with the naked eye. So bring those, and so that way the RIs aren't yelling at you for just having a white light to charge your compass.
I never knew that was a thing until someone pulled it out during land nav at Derby, and I was like, "That's genius!"
Yeah,
and then
saw
I
it,
forgot
and
to
it
buy
blew
one.
my mind too. Yeah. Another thing, gum. They say 60 pieces. Bring as much gum as you possibly can. Every single flavor under the sun, because you are not going to be eating a lot in all of Ranger School. And gum, it's not a substitute for it, but it'll take your mind off of it for sure, especially if you have different flavors. I know some people would go through like a pack a day. I was not a gum fiend, but there are some people who go through a lot of gum.
I can identify myself as a gum fiend. It got so bad I went through like 2 packs a day where I would put it in, chew it till the flavor was gone, and then I got another piece.
Yeah.
Not the way you should do it, but it happened.
Again, stick gum only. You can only bring stick gum. If they have others, like they'll take it from you and you might get dropped or worse. So just stick gum, every single type that you could possibly get your hands on.
One brand I recommend is Bazooka gum, and this is the thing. A lot of gum nowadays is sugar free. You are allowed to bring like Bazooka gum, which has like sugar in it. It's extra calories, and you'll get to a point when you realize that calories do matter.
Yeah.
A lot.
Even the 5 calories in a stick of gum are going to matter.
Yep.
Moving on, protractors. Bring extra protractors. This is another item that you're going to lose all the time.
Yeah, this is another thing I want to add about protractors as well is that some protractors, they'll like when they're in your pouch, the numbers will get wiped off of them.
Yes.
So something that once again, I feel like I wish I would have known sooner in my life, but take some clear tape and put it over the protractor, cut out the triangles, and that will prevent the numbers from wiping off. Mm-hmm. So just another thing out there.
Yeah. Bring extra tactical gloves. You are going to tear holes in all of your gloves, so make sure that you have backups with you. Sometimes it didn't happen often, but it did happen a couple times where you're stepping off for a movement and a couple people don't have gloves, and the RIs will ask the platoon sergeant why everybody isn't in the same uniform. Yeah. So that's an immediate thing against the platoon sergeant. So help your buddy out. If everyone else has gloves on, quick rule of thumb, if everyone else is doing something and you're not, you're probably in the wrong. So have gloves on if everyone else has gloves on.
And your hands will get so messed up, you're going to want gloves. I know there's some tough guys out there that can do it without gloves, but like...
Not me.
Not me. There was so many, and then once again, this could have been something in the winter, but like my hands were so cracked up. Even looking at my hand right now during this, like I can see the scars of where like there was just open wounds at the tip of my fingers. You're going to want some gloves.
Yeah. Next, this, again, a weather or time of the year dependent thing, but beanies, extra beanies. We always have a beanie in your cargo pocket because you don't want to be the one guy who doesn't have his beanie on because it pisses everybody off. Always have a beanie on you. Your beanie and your PC, always have that on you. Yeah, I had 2. Like a lot of people would wear 2. You have one that's a bigger size than the others. You can put it over. That's at your own risk. Do that at your own risk. But yeah, you're going to want extra beanies just in case you lose one. A couple of people lost some. So just bring extras.
Nobody steals in the Army. The people are just trying to get their stuff back. I brought 3 beanies with me to Derby, and I left Derby with only 1. That's Rap Week. Sorry, I left Rap Week with only 1. So I was hanging on for dear life during Derby to make sure I didn't lose that one beanie to whatever elements were out there. So probably don't need to. You 3 I think is probably enough, but
Yeah, I brought 2. Yeah, and I finished with 2, luckily.
Something I know I brought was skull caps, which are really thin, like beanies essentially. Those were kind of nice for wearing underneath my helmet, but I also just wore my beanie under my helmet at times too. So that's just kind of a dependent one.
Yep. Definitely bring 2 mm thick contractor bags. Just the real thick contractor bags. Get the real big ones as well, because you are going to want your stuff to be as waterproofed as possible. The worst thing is to have your stuff not be waterproofed. And again, we talked about it earlier. Ranger 1's ruck got compromised, and it's not a good time. You don't want that to happen to you. In Darby and Florida, you can use extra sustainment pouches. They will not let you use it in mountains, but it definitely helps to have extra sustainment pouches just to have your snivel gear on the outside, so it's easily accessible to you, or just other things that you know you're going to need quickly, like a red lens or something like that. Just stuff that you don't want to dig in your ruck for. Normally I kept, you keep all like your clothes in your ruck, and then the auxiliary items you keep in the sustainment pouches, so that way you can get them easily. It also helps to put your MREs in there.
Yep, nope, I agree. Buddy brought some sustainment pouches to Darby, and I thought that is genius, because
Didn't even think of
it's
that.
just so nice to not have to dig through your ruck to grab something. It's just right there. Like, would have loved that.
Yeah. Also, your waist packs or your butt packs, those, if you can easily detach that from your ruck, there's going to be times you're going to want that on you. We did it as weapons squad. We would put our extra ammo in there, so when we didn't have our rucks, you're expected to bring every bit of ammo with you. So if you have your waist packs, just put that around you when you're an AB. You can have like 3 or 4 ABs sometimes. It's ridiculous, but keep all your ammo on you and put it in your butt pack.
Yep, and I'm not sure, I can't remember if you could get in trouble if you left ammo with your rucks. People definitely did.
Again, it's one of those things where you could get in trouble. Sometimes they check. They're always asking for ammo counts. So
Yeah. Especially, yeah.
yeah. If you say like, "Oh, I've got this here," then so and so in my ruck, they might get mad at that.
If you're support by fire, you just be expected to bring. And that's something where I would also say, depending on the phase, you can maybe pack your assault bag.
Yep.
A butt pack or an assault bag. And you can literally just only use that for when you're support by fire. You whip that bad boy out, throw your ammo in. Or you give it to the squad who's support by fire and make some friends.
Mm-hmm.
It's an idea.
And there are times where you're using way more ammo than you think. Yeah. Like you think that you should only bring 300 or 400 rounds to support by fire, but you use 6 or 7.
Yeah, I can't think of something going worse for a weasel look than if you were to run out of ammo and like the RI asks, where's the rest of your ammo at? Because you did not go through. Because they won't, you could say you have 800 and like maybe you shot like a little bit, and then you'll say like, oh, we only have like, we went through like 400 rounds. In reality, you didn't. But if you clearly did not shoot X amount of rounds, then like they'll ask. And if you say, hey, it's at my ruck, or it's at my guys left it at their rucksacks, that's just not going to look good for you.
And they're sort of tracking how much rounds you have throughout the FTX. They can tell about how far down it's going. So, yeah, they just be mindful of your round counts there. And so for the last thing of extra things you're going to want to bring, pre-made resupply boxes. In these have extra notebooks, pens, pencils, gum, all that stuff to send to yourself. In mountains, you probably won't get it in Darby. But send that to yourself in mountains in Florida for sure.
Yeah. Like that's just and that's saving you time during Darby Pass to actually relax. Like to actually talk with your family on the phone. To if your family's in town, to actually go be with your family, go and enjoy the food. You don't have to worry about kind of like almost like the Black Friday shopping that occurs.
Yep.
So that's just something we recommend. And I think that's about it. If you want to add anything.
No, I think you got it good.